Martin Luther King Jr., born on January 15, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia, was a social activist and Baptist minister who played a key role in the American Civil Rights Movement from the mid-1950s until his assassination in 1968. He was a driving force behind watershed events such as the Montgomery bus boycott and the 1963 March on Washington, which helped bring about such landmark legislation as the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act.
A gifted student, King attended segregated public schools and at the age of 15 was admitted to Morehouse College, the alma mater of both his father and maternal grandfather, where he studied medicine and law. After graduating in 1948, King entered Kozar Theological Seminary in Pennsylvania. There he earned a Bachelor of Divinity degree, won a prestigious fellowship, and also was elected president of his predominantly white senior class. King then enrolled in a graduate program at Boston University and later earned a doctorate in systematic theology. When he was in Boston, he met a woman. Her name was Coretta Scott. They got married in 1953 and settled in Montgomery, Alabama, where King then became pastor of the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church.
Montgomery became the epicenter of the burgeoning struggle for civil rights in America, galvanized by the landmark Brown versus Board of Education decision in 1954. On December 1st, 1955, Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat to a white passenger on a Montgomery bus and was arrested. Activists coordinated a bus boycott that would continue for 381 days. They chose Martin Luther King Jr. as a protest leader and official spokesman. King founded the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, also known as SCLC, a group committed to achieving full equality for African Americans through nonviolent protest. In his role as SCLC president, Martin Luther King Jr. traveled across the country and around the world, giving lectures on nonviolent protest and civil rights as well as meetings with religious figures, activists, and political leaders. King was arrested and wrote a letter from Birmingham jail, an eloquent defense of civil disobedience addressed to a group of white clergymen who had criticized his tactics. Later that year, Martin Luther King Jr. worked with a number of civil rights and religious groups to organize the March on Washington for jobs and freedom. Here, he said his famous I Have a Dream speech.
On the evening of April 4th, 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. He was fatally shot while standing on the balcony of a motel in Memphis, where King had traveled to support a sanitation worker strike. In the wake of his death, a wave of riots swept major cities across the country, while President Johnson declared a national day of mourning. King was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964, and in 1983, President Ronald Reagan signed a bill creating the third Monday on January, a U.S. federal holiday in honor of King. If it wasn't for King, African Americans would not have the freedoms and equal treatment as they do today.
Martin Luther King Jr.